Actually, I avoided princess parties, and it was hard to keep me in a dress. My hero was Zorro, so I wanted to be him.
When South African Olympic swimmer Charlene Wittstock,
At 33, Charlene no longer trains competitively as a swimmer. She owes a lot to the sport.
married Prince Albert II of Monaco in a lavish ceremony, it seemed like the perfect royal love story. But behind the glamour, cracks were already forming. Since the wedding, it's been one upheaval after another. And being a celebrity family, each crack is followed by intense speculation from the public. However, this latest scandal involving Princess Charlene has been the most shocking so far. Can the royal family survive the weight of this scandal? More importantly, what really happened to Princess Charlene? Join us as we dive into the details. The scandal involving Princess Charlene. Since the fateful day, the admired athletic swimmer Charlene Wittstock crossed paths with Prince Albert at the Mare Nostrum swimming competition in Monte Carlo in 2000, her life has not been the same. She went from a life of long hours of training and pushing limits to one centered around tiaras, royal protocols, and high society events. This is the transformation that Princess Charlene of Monaco underwent. Despite the drastic changes in her life, nothing could have prepared her for the events that followed her marriage to Prince Albert. Scandal after scandal unfolded, each more unexpected than the last. In Monaco, a kingdom built on luxury, secrecy, and prestige, the royal family is more than just a symbol. It is an integral part of the nation's brand. Any controversy involving them doesn't just tarnish their reputation, it threatens Monaco's global allure. Yet no scandal has shaken the kingdom more than this one. The whispers of infidelity surrounding Prince Albert II of Monaco first surfaced long before his marriage to Princess Charlene in 2011. Even before their lavish wedding, rumors circulated about Albert's past relationships and the possible existence of a few illegitimate children. However, these claims took a more serious turn when, in the months leading up to the wedding, reports emerged that Charlene had attempted to flee Monaco 3 times. In fact, it was rumored she even tried seeking refuge at the South African embassy in France. The most damaging allegations came in the form of lawsuits and claims from women who insisted that Albert had fathered children with them. By the time Prince Albert married Charlene, he had already publicly acknowledged 2 illegitimate children: Yasmin Grace Grimaldi, born in 1992, and Alexandra Coste, born in 2003. Alexandra's birth, the result of an affair with Togolese flight attendant Nicole Coste, caused a particular stir, as Albert's acknowledgement came just days after the mourning period for his father, Prince Rainier, ended in 2005. However, this revelation was not entirely voluntary. The child's existence had been a well-kept secret until the French magazine, Paris Match, published photographs of Albert with his son, compelling the prince to publicly address the situation. Though Albert had reportedly recognized Alexandra legally in 2003 after a DNA test confirmed his paternity, he had managed to keep the affair out of the public eye for years. He had even provided Nicole Coste with financial support, an apartment in Paris, and a luxurious lifestyle in exchange for discretion. However, once the news became public, Albert had little choice but to confirm his fatherhood. However, the acknowledgement came with strict legal conditions. Alexandra would not be in line for the throne due to Monaco's constitutional rules. This revelation marked the beginning of a series of paternity scandals that would later cast a long shadow over Albert's personal life, including his marriage to Princess Charlene. Even after their marriage, Albert's past continued to haunt the couple. Charlene's public demeanor often appeared strained, fueling rumors that she was struggling with the weight of royal life compounded by Albert's controversial past. The presence of his acknowledged children outside of wedlock has remained a sensitive topic, one that highlights the unspoken tensions within Monaco's royal household. The acknowledgement of Alexandre may have been a step toward transparency for Albert, but for Charlene, it likely reinforced the reality that her life as a princess would always be entangled with the consequences of his past. These 2 scandals were easier for Princess Charlene to forget. After all, one might argue they weren't married at the time. The princess walked into a marriage believing the scandalous days of affairs were over for the prince. But it was far from over. In 2020, another scandal erupted, just 9 years into their marriage. A Brazilian woman alleged that Albert had fathered a daughter with her during his relationship with Charlene. The timing of this accusation, coming nearly a decade into his marriage, reignited speculation about Albert's faithfulness and put the royal couple under intense scrutiny. All these reports of scandals from a man who knew how each event would affect not only him but also his country painted a picture of a man who had long struggled with monogamy. His past relationships with numerous women, including models and socialites, fueled speculation that his marriage to Charlene was more of a political arrangement than a love match. Some sources even suggested that Charlene had been aware of Albert's lifestyle before the wedding, but underestimated the emotional toll it would take. For a royal family that thrives on projecting an image of stability and sophistication, these allegations were a significant blow. Princess Charlene's reactions to the affairs. As the affairs kept mounting, the strain on Charlene became increasingly visible. She was deeply hurt and embarrassed, particularly by the timing of the latest paternity claim, which surfaced as she tried to establish herself in Monaco's royal circles. Friends and insiders claimed that Charlene felt trapped in a marriage that no longer resembled the fairy tale she had envisioned. Public appearances by the couple began to take on a noticeably formal tone. While they had never been known for excessive public displays of affection, the emotional distance between them became more apparent. Charlene's body language often appeared tense, and she was frequently seen looking somber at official events. Albert, however, appeared unfazed. He continued to perform his royal duties with a composed demeanor, but the public could sense the growing rift. The tension reached a peak in 2021 when Charlene took an extended trip to South Africa, her home country. Initially, the visit was framed as a visit for conservation work, but the trip turned into a months-long absence, with official statements citing a severe ear, nose, and throat infection that prevented her from flying. However, many speculated that her prolonged stay was a sign of deeper marital troubles. Even after she returned to Monaco, she spent time recovering at a private treatment facility, fueling further rumors that her physical and emotional health had suffered due to the ongoing scandal. Despite having the sympathy of the public, having sensational headlines published about her husband's affairs was too much for Princess Charlene to bear. In Monaco, where discretion is valued, the scandal created an uncomfortable situation. Despite Albert's attempts to downplay the allegations, the damage was done. Charlene's extended absence and her visibly strained demeanor upon returning only reinforced the public perception that all was not well within the royal household. At some point there was speculation whether the princess had had enough and might be considering a divorce. A divorce between Prince Albert and Princess Charlene would be a significant blow to the image of Monaco's monarchy. It would undermine the stability and prestige that Albert has worked to maintain. As the ruler of a principality built on glamour, luxury, and tradition, Albert's personal life is closely tied to Monaco's international reputation. A high-profile separation would not only fuel global media scrutiny, but also weaken the carefully curated image of a stable royal family, potentially impacting tourism, investor confidence, and Monaco's standing among European monarchies. Given Albert's history of paternity scandals and ongoing speculation about his marriage, a divorce could reinforce perceptions of personal and institutional instability, making it harder for him to command the same level of respect and authority as a sovereign. But the next move Prince Albert took was even more shocking. The repeated cases of infidelity in the marriage between Prince Albert II and Princess Charlene reinforced the belief that their marriage started out as a political match rather than a love match. The union has been scrutinized for its seemingly transactional nature. Despite public appearances suggesting unity, reports indicate that their relationship is bound not only by royal duty, but also by a significant financial arrangement. Prince Albert agreed to pay Charlene an annual sum of approximately 12 million euros to maintain the marriage and avoid public scandal. This lump payment is to compensate Charlene to fulfill her royal obligations and remain in the marriage despite her husband's affairs. This arrangement serves multiple purposes. For Charlene, it ensures financial security, access to luxury, and a defined role within Monaco's social structure. For Albert, it saves his reign from the destabilizing effects of a high-profile royal divorce. The €12 million payment per year allows Charlene to maintain a life of privilege, but it also comes with significant constraints. Her official duties, public appearances, and role as a symbolic figure require her to adhere to a script, often suppressing personal emotions in favor of presenting a united royal front. There has been a stark contrast in her demeanor over the years. Her once bright and confident expressions have been replaced by more subdued, distant, and, at times, melancholic appearances. Despite periodic absences from Monaco, such as her extended stay in South Africa due to health complications, the financial arrangement reportedly remains in place, ensuring her return to public life alongside Albert. The personal toll Prince Albert's affairs were having on his wife was no small thing. When they got married in 2011, she transitioned from a world-class Olympic swimmer to a royal figure under relentless scrutiny. Overnight, she was suddenly thrust into the spotlight, where every aspect of her life, her appearance, demeanor, and even her personal choices became a subject of public speculation. Unlike other royal consorts who may have had years of preparation, Charlene's introduction to royal duties was abrupt and intense. She was expected to embody the grace and poise of Monaco's long-standing royal traditions while constantly being compared to Prince Albert's mother, the beloved Grace Kelly. The pressure to conform to an image of royal perfection while dealing with the expectations of producing an heir was overwhelming. Her husband's affairs were yet another challenge she had to deal with. Right from the start, she had second thoughts about the union. There were rumors that she attempted to leave Monaco before the wedding. Though officially denied, the speculation only intensified as she struggled to find her place in the palace. Then another challenge arose. In 2021, Charlene's health struggles became a focal point when she remained in South Africa for an extended period, far from Monaco. Initially there for conservation work, she was soon hospitalized due to a severe ear, nose, and throat infection that required multiple surgeries. Her prolonged absence raised concerns about her well-being, with conflicting reports emerging about the reasons behind her extended stay. While official statements attributed it to medical complications, speculation persisted that she was using the trip as an escape from her life in Monaco. There were images of her shared on social media looking visibly frail and exhausted. Even after returning to Monaco, Charlene's health issues persisted. She continued to struggle with recovery, requiring additional time away from public duties. Charlene's first move upon returning was to re-engage with her charitable work. Her dedication to causes such as children's welfare, sports, and wildlife conservation had endeared her to the public before her absence, and it was through this work that she sought to rebuild her connection with the people of Monaco in interviews with those close to her. Drawing from her own background as an Olympic swimmer, Charlene has dedicated her efforts to causes that promote drowning prevention, education, and overall well-being for disadvantaged communities worldwide. In 2012, just a year after her wedding, Princess Charlene launched the Princess Charlene of Monaco Foundation. It is a non-profit organization focused on saving lives through water safety education and drowning prevention. Charlene's foundation has expanded its efforts to various countries, including South Africa, India, Bangladesh, the United States, and multiple European nations. By partnering with organizations such as the Red Cross, Life Saving South Africa, and World Rugby, the foundation has trained thousands of children and teachers, ensuring long-term community benefits. In addition to her foundation's core mission, Charlene has supported humanitarian and healthcare causes. She has contributed to maternal health programs, children's hospitals, and emergency response initiatives. During the COVID-19 pandemic, she played an active role in supporting relief efforts, including donating masks and medical supplies. Despite the fact that their marriage had seemingly turned cold, their union started on a warmer note. How did they meet? Let's probe further. The couple's first meeting. In the year 2000, during the Mare Nostrum swimming competition in Monaco, a chance encounter occurred that would later blossom into a royal romance. Charlene Wittstock, a legendary South African swimmer with striking blonde hair, caught the eye of Prince Albert II. Her graceful movements in the pool and her radiant smile left an indelible impression on the prince. Recalling that moment, Prince Albert later remarked, "I don't know if we fell in love back then. You know, after that, I didn't see Charlene again for several years. I thought that she was an excellent swimmer and that she was friendly, cheerful, and approachable." Despite this initial meeting, their lives took separate paths, and they didn't see each other for several years. It wasn't until 2005, following the death of Prince Albert's father, Prince Rainier III, that Charlene reached out to offer her condolences. This gesture rekindled their acquaintance, leading to a deeper connection. Their first public appearance together came during the 2006 Winter Olympics in Turin. Albert and Charlene also shared a rare insight into their early dating life. With Albert joking he got in trouble after he didn't get her home in time. Charlene reflected on this event, saying, "Albert put me at ease. It was clear that we shared the same passions. We both became very emotional watching the athletes. Sport is the common denominator of our lives. Both royals are former Olympians, with Albert having competed in the bobsled in 5 consecutive games, while Charlene competed in the 2000 Olympic Games. This passion for sport is also reflected in how they raise their children. In the interview, they dropped hints that their twin children, Prince Jacques and Princess Gabriella, could also compete in future events, as they had picked up a love of sport from them. The kids try their hands on a variety of sports, from swimming and gymnastics to fencing, tennis, and volleyball. Jacques, who is the heir apparent, also does taekwondo. As their relationship progressed, Charlene became a regular presence at significant events in Monaco, including the annual Red Cross Ball and the Monaco Grand Prix. Her natural elegance and genuine warmth endeared her to the Monegasque people, paving the way for her eventual role as Princess of Monaco. Their shared love for sports and mutual respect laid a strong foundation for their relationship, leading to their engagement in 2010. On a sun-drenched July weekend in 2011, Monaco transformed into the setting of a modern-day fairy tale. The world watched as Princess Charlene, a former Olympic swimmer from South Africa, took her place beside Prince Albert II, stepping into a role once held by the legendary Grace Kelly. The grand occasion marked Monaco's first royal wedding in over 50 years, drawing global attention. Charlene was the center of attention in her breathtaking Giorgio Armani Privé wedding dress. The dress was an exquisite masterpiece embroidered with 40,000 Swarovski crystals and 20,000 mother-of-pearl teardrops. The off-the-shoulder silhouette, paired with an elegant chignon and a delicate flowing veil, exuded understated glamour. The bride's bouquet was a pristine arrangement of white orchids. It perfectly complemented the extravagant floral displays that adorned the palace courtyard. The ceremony itself was a spectacle of both tradition and modernity. The couple first exchanged vows in the civil service, followed by a grand religious ceremony the next day at the courtyard of the Palais Princier. A majestic orchestra filled the air with music as Charlene walked toward her groom. And the journey into their married life began. Last month, the couple marked their 13th year anniversary, and to mark the special occasion, they posted an intimate picture of themselves on the official Palais Princier de Monaco Instagram account. The image featured Albert tenderly placing his arm on Charlene's back as he smiled at her during a balcony appearance with their twin children. So far, the journey has proven to be more daunting than Princess Charlene could have expected. Nevertheless, she is adjusting and coping with the realities of royal life. There is a growing sense that Charlene's strength and perseverance through adversity have garnered her a new level of respect both within Monaco and internationally. She has elevated herself from being seen merely as a glamorous figurehead. She now carries herself as a complex, multifaceted woman who has faced immense pressure and personal pain while continuing to fulfill her royal obligations. This shift in her mindset may allow Charlene to carve out a new role for herself within the monarchy, one that is less tied to traditional expectations and more focused on the causes that matter most to her. Charlene's future will depend on how she chooses to balance her public duties with her personal needs in the face of her husband's amoral affairs. So far, the princess has proven that she is capable of enduring difficult times with grace. This has earned her the public's ongoing support. Trading on this goodwill as she moves forward will serve her well, whether she chooses to remain a central figure in Monaco's royal life or takes a step back to focus on her health and personal life. What do you think of the union between Princess Charlene and Prince Albert? What's your take on the idea of the prince paying Princess Charlene 12 million euros per year to prevent a divorce? We would love you to share your opinion in the comments section. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Also, click the next video shown on your screen. You will enjoy it.